All right, so let's now get you some breaking news that's just come in, where the American President Donald Trump has said that the war in Iran, or rather the American war on Iran, will end soon. This comes as the Iran war, remember, is now in its 12th day. President Donald Trump has told Axios in a brief phone interview that the war with Iran will end soon because there's practically nothing left to target. Trump has told Axios, and I quote him, "The war is going great. We are way ahead of the timetable. We've done more damage than we thought possible, even the original 6-week period." Even as Trump has been publicly signaling that his operation has largely accomplished its objectives, the U.S. and Israeli officials say that there has been no internal directive on when this war will stop. The Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has said that the war will continue without any time limit for as long as necessary until we achieve all the objectives and decisively win the campaign.
This operation, led by U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who speak and coordinate every day and direct and determine the policy from there, carried out by you and by CENTCOM, together with the U.S. military, this operation will continue without any time limit, as long as necessary, until we achieve all the objectives and decide the outcome of the campaign.
All right, so that, of course, is the Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz. They're saying that this war will continue for as long as it takes till the objectives are achieved. But Donald Trump, interestingly, seems to be saying that this war can be over pretty soon because there is nothing more to hit in Iran. My colleague Susan Tehrani is joining us with more updates on this. Susan, what are we to make of this statement by Donald Trump, where he says that this war can end pretty soon because there are no more targets that are to be hit in Iran? But the question is obviously this: can Donald Trump unilaterally end this war? Because the Iranians have said that they don't want to negotiate at the moment.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. And the president has always said that this is going to be a swift war. Now, when he says it's going to end soon, he doesn't make clear when soon is. Is soon in days? Is it in weeks? Or will it drag on to another month? That the definition of soon is very fluid here. It also comes at a time when the Israelis are saying that they're not giving a timeline, and they're part of this equation, of course, as well. They're saying they're going to continue with this operation for as long as it takes. Some believe that the president is saying this to control markets and the oil prices and thus gas prices here in America. Remember, they're up about 50 cents right now across the country, and that's concerning for Republicans going into a midterm election. Others believe that the president is right. They're ahead of schedule, and perhaps he thinks that they can get out of there sooner than later. But there's one thing, Mohammed, I want to mention, and that's what many analysts and experts agree on, that the president's strategy of being ambiguous prior to the war was to the benefit of the United States and to a certain extent Israel in keeping Iran on its toes. But many at this point believe that there has to be a coherent and a unified messaging coming out of the White House in lockstep with the Israelis for this operation, at least in the eyes of the public, to seem like it's successful. But it seems that the White House is continuing with its ambiguous messaging and, going from one way to the other, one message to another. And that may be hurting the Trump administration while the war is ongoing, although it was to the benefit of them prior to the war.
Although some people would say what is hurting the American administration, Donald Trump, more is the inflation, the price of gas going up, and also the markets being pretty jittery because of this war that Donald Trump has kick-started. Thank you very much indeed, Susan Tehrani, for joining us with those updates there. And also on the broadcast, we've got Mr. Chris Blackburn. He's a security analyst who is joining us live from London. Mr. Blackburn, this is an interesting statement that Donald Trump has now put out in an interview that he's given to Axios, an American media outlet there, where he says that this war can end soon. What do you think is making Donald Trump say this? Because he started off with a very clear objective. It appeared that he wanted a regime change in Iran. He's managed to assassinate Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. There is a new Ayatollah in charge in Tehran. Regime change has not been effected, but Donald Trump is now talking in terms that this war could come to an end soon. What do you think is happening here?
Yeah, thank you for having me. And well, I think Susan's right. There has been quite a lot of ambiguity from the United States on its like overall objective. We know obviously it's going to try to degrade military targets and it's going to going after command and control. But do we know if they're going to go for a completely new regime, and that means a major sort of investment in the future of Iran, or are they just basically going to level the country and reduce the threat? So I think it's right to look at that, and I think Trump's statements. He's switched between saying he wants regime change and then he's gone back. Well, no, actually, we just want to degrade them, and saying that there's nothing left. And U.S. CENTCOM today, the U.S. sort of Central Command in Florida, has basically said it's hit over 5,000 to 6,000 targets. And we know there's been attacks on tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. But basically, I think the how long is Trump how long is his concentration on this topic, and if it does sort of spill into months, will they have the sort of longevity? Will they keep it up as these sort of other factors and US sort of public opinion comes into focus?